Doodlebud here. Today we're doing a nail biter of paper versus paper, specifically Tomoe River Paper versus Tomoe River Paper. Same, but different. So let's give you the quick background story. This paper, this is the original stuff made by the Tomoegawa Paper Company. They started in 1914 making paper. They were a specialist in thin paper. In 1981, they came out with this stuff. This is their 52 GSM, which stands for grams per square meter. So a square meter of this paper only weighs 52 grams. This was specifically made for offset printing, in particular Bibles. And if you've ever flipped through a Bible, you notice the pages are very thin, but the print quality is really good. So that's neat stuff. This paper ended up getting used in some planners. And to folks who use fountain pens, we love paper because you need the right stuff or else it just doesn't work good. It smudges, it smears, it feathers, doesn't look good. So the fountain pen community took notice, really liked it. A very thin paper that had fantastic properties for ink, and it performed well. Everything was going great until about 2020-ish when some rumors came out. This paper was always made on machine number 7, and then it was revealed it would no longer be made on that machine. It would go to machine number 9. Shock and awe went through the fountain pen community. I joke, but you never know, is it going to be different? But then the worst thing ever happened. October 28th, 2021, news broke out. Tomoegawa Paper Company would no longer be making Tomoe River Paper. Instead, they were selling the trademark and production rights to the Sanzen Paper Company, and they've been manufacturing paper for a long time. And of course, people wondered, well, hold on a second. This is like the best paper ever. Another company is going to start making it. People panicked and started buying this stuff like they were hoarding toilet paper back in 2020. I had been in fountain pens for a little while. I didn't really care. People were panicking over this stuff and going nuts. And I watched it happen. I didn't really care. I'd never used it, so I didn't know what I was missing out. But then one day, I saw a pack of the original stuff on Facebook Marketplace and thought, you know what? Let me try it for myself. So this is the original stuff by the Tomoegawa Paper Company. This is the new stuff made by Sanzen, and I'm going to test them out to see, are they the same? Are they different? What's the difference? Got a bunch of pens and a bunch of inks to test it out. So I guess you could say I'm a Tomoe River Paper virgin, and tonight we're going to take that away. So I have handpicked specific pens and inks to test out the paper. I will also use this stuff here as a baseline comparison, Clairefontaine paper. So we will see and compare just the difference between the two versions of the Tomoe River, and is it that much extraordinary than standard fountain pen paper. There are some different properties from inks, specifically shading and sheen. These papers are supposed to highlight that, make it look even better. So let's go through the pens and the inks I have selected for this test tonight. First up is this pen here. This is from 5040. This is their Titan pen. I have full reviews of all these pens and inks that you will see. Check the description if you want to learn more. This has a lovely medium nib on it. It has a nice little bounce to it. The ink inside, I forgot the bottle at my office, but is Hongdian Sky Blue. The reason I'm picking this ink is it has fantastic shading. This is one of my favorite pen and ink combos. It comes in a bottle like this. Like I said, I forgot the exact bottle at the office, and I realized I don't have any red inks in the lineup, so we're going to test this one too. The pen next to it is this one here. This is made by Pelikan, a bit of a rare one. This is the P361. This is the Epoch model. The finish on this one is zircon. The reason I'm choosing this one is I have done some fancy work to the nib. As you can see, it's ground on an angle that's called an oblique. It gives a very interesting line characteristic. And I even have a video of me doing that if you care to watch along. The ink in that one is this stuff by Jinhao. Very affordable ink. They call this their high-grade writing ink. It's the blue-black color, one of my favorites. Next to that one is something that might look familiar even if you don't know a whole lot about fountain pens. This is the fancy version of the Lamy Safari. This is called the Lamy LX. Lamy Safari is probably the most popular fountain pen sold. This is the sort of skookum version. It's a metal body with a nice anodizing on it. We have some lovely colored trim on here. So this is the fancy version. Also has a black nib. This is a medium. I chose a medium because it's pretty much the most popular nib size there is. I will be inking it with this stuff here. This is by Octopus Fluids. Their Write and Draw ink. It's a pigmented ink, but it's also fountain pen friendly. Really neat stuff. I like the color, and it's also a permanent ink. We will be using a lovely flex pen, the one next to it. This is by Magna Carta. Looks like an old vintage Parker Vacuumatic model. The neat thing with this one, it's got a gold nib, which is quite cool, but it's also a flex nib. So you're going to see some nice flex writing. I have a pairing that goes with it. This is Monteverde Brown Sugar. Next up are my troublesome inks. So here we go here. On the right is Baystate Blue. I've done several videos of it. Actually, my most popular video, about to hit 1 million views, is about this ink. It stains everything. I'm curious to see how this paper handles it. After that is this stuff called Sheen Machine, made by KWZ. It's a blue ink. And as you can see here with the coloring they're inferring, it has this pinky red sheen to it. It looks cool, but it is such a mess to clean out. Apparently, it's supposed to look great on this paper. To do these inks, I don't want to ink up these pens, nice ones, and I have to really clean them out. This one takes a lot of cleaning. This one is an absolute pain. So I'm going to be using my dip pen. This is by Drillog. We have a titanium nib with a cool coating on it. That will be for the Baystate Blue. And then this little one here, this is made by Sailor. It's a dip pen. And it has a cool little nib on here. It's bent at the front. This lets me create thin and thick lines all with the same nib. I'll write the exact same writing sample for each pen and ink combo on each paper. We will compare, I'll give my thoughts, and we'll see, is this stuff all it's cracked up to be? And is there much difference between the two? Pull out a few sheets here from the middle right away. Yes, that is thin. You can, sort of see through that. Very, very smooth. Let's go for the feel test between the two. This is original. I bought this in Victoria, BC at a place called The Papery. Next door is a fantastic bakery. If you're ever in the area, make sure to stop at both places. Let's go middle of the stack. I heard there's a difference in feel, so I'll give it one of these tests right here. Nice and smooth. Let's try the new recipe. Similar, but maybe even a little smoother. Not 100% sure, but they are very close, but potentially slightly smoother. Color-wise, I won't be able to tell you on the camera here, but they are extremely close. Maybe this is slightly creamier, but I don't know. It's very, very close to each other. I think you can see this on the camera. We have my grid background here. You can see that shows through a little better on the original stuff, the Tomoegawa, versus the new version here. You can still see it, but doesn't show through quite as much. Let's get it ready and do the very first writing sample with each paper. Real quick initial impression. It is a very interesting paper. It's extremely light. I got to get used to working with this because it sort of buckles and moves on you because it's so thin and so light. As far as writing, they both feel really good. I would say this is slightly smoother. But again, that's initial impression. Let me get the rest of the pens going. While I'm doing the writing sample, I'll give you a few thoughts. Very interesting paper. I've never written, especially with a fountain pen, on any kind of paper this thin before that can handle fountain pen ink this well. The fact it was so light and thin and also free paper, not in a book or a pad or anything, it made this tricky, especially trying to get you the writing angles with the camera. You can see the paper shifting around. This was quite a challenge to write with it, but as I wrote with the paper and went back and forth between each one, I could immediately tell the difference between which was which. I'll tell you my thoughts here in a moment, but I was impressed how well it handled. The sheen and shading properties really seemed to stick out. It does take an extra long time to dry with. Not sure if I'd use this paper a bunch just from the practical standpoint, but let me wrap this up and then I'll give you my findings. It took me a while to finish off the writing samples, but we're done. I also came back, this is the following day, took a few extra sheets just to play around a little bit more to really get used to it. Also to not be recording because it's impossible to focus on writing at the same time as I'm recording a video. So first, this is a very interesting paper. I do like the way it feels. I like the way it behaves. I'm still quite surprised how well it does considering how thin it is. The Baystate Blue on both of these, like it does for a good amount of papers, especially if you go really heavy like that, it bleeds through. Baystate Blue, it's its own category. It does accentuate any ink properties an ink already has. There is a difference between the two. I marked the pages down here, so for the Tomoegawa and then for the Sanzen paper. But after writing, like I mentioned quickly there in my writing sample comments, I could tell the difference instantly which paper I'm using. And I'm brand new to this stuff, so I understand people who were concerned going from one manufacturer to another and there being a difference. There absolutely is a difference. This original stuff, the Tomoegawa version, it's smoother. I can feel it right away. It's not that this is hard or unpleasant. There's a little bit more drag, more draw on a pen. As you're going across the page, you can feel a little bit more resistance to it. This is a slicker page. When it comes to ink properties, it does a great job. So there's that Sheen machine. It does a great job over here as well. But it seems that on the original stuff, those properties are amplified even further. It's tough to get this on camera. We're getting some nice sheen with that ink there. But on the original recipe, it just seems to be more. The sheen is brighter, a little more reflectivity to it. And same when it comes to shading. Shading seems to be amplified a little bit further. You can see with this ink here, you get that gold sheen that's on that, the pink there. With the new recipe, you only get a little bit, barely any. Again, it's a little tricky because this is a dip pen I was using, so sometimes the dip can be different. But on the next pages here I played around with, these pens are all inked, so the flow is the same. This is with an ink called Diamine Sargasso C, and you can see you're getting a ton of sheen out of it on there. And on this page here, you are getting some, but again, just not quite as much. We're getting nice shading here with that Hongdian sky blue. We're also getting nice shading here. So I find the shading is fairly close to each other. Again, maybe a touch more on the original, but I find the sheen is where it makes the biggest difference. The same inks look really great on this Clairefontaine paper. This stuff is very, very smooth. It doesn't show it off quite as much. Also, when you have a bit of a creamier color paper, I find on average, I don't know what it is, there's probably some explanation behind it, you do get a little bit more of that shading or sheen if your ink has that. It just seems to highlight it a bit more. One thing I really like about this Clairefontaine paper is the dry time. This stuff, especially the older one, it seems, it's extreme. It takes a very, very long time. The ink really pools on top. I think that's why you're getting that heightened ink characteristics, the shading and the sheen that's on there. But even for your inks that don't really have those properties, the dry time is extremely high. So for me, I don't think I would use this stuff on a regular basis. So bottom line, did we lose something when we went from the original recipe to the new? I would say yes. The old stuff, I would say it's a better paper, and you can notice it. Is an extreme difference? No, but the old stuff is better. Does it really impact me in any way? No, I'm not going to be using this stuff that much. Although it does great things, it feels nice with the pen and the ink and all that kind of great stuff. I'll probably stick with all my other paper. I will probably just use this one from time to time when I feel like it, and not be too worried about it. If I want to pick up another stack, I will. It's available. I will be just sort of leaving this as is. Maybe every now and then break out a sheet, but I'll probably just hoard it and just keep it for whatever reason. I'm not going to use it a bunch anyways. I think I just got the lighting perfect here. This is the original. This is the new. I said earlier, the new stuff seems a bit creamier. The lighting's working out, the glare's working out, so you can see it a little bit whiter, a little creamier. So I'm done. Gonna leave it there. I appreciate you for watching this video. If you got something out of it and you liked it, leave a like, maybe a subscribe. Description, I'll do my best to include all the stuff I went through on here. I also have a join button for some fun member stuff. Thanks for watching again. We will catch you next time.